Hello, this is Spellbinder's Report. I'm out here taking a walk on a bike path just to see how everything is today. It's nice and humid. I think it's like 80-something% humidity with, probably 90-degree temperature, which brings it to about 109 degrees out here. I decided to take a walk and do my report today just because, well, it feels better. I wanted to get a couple of things off my mind. Basically, what's happened with the attack in Norway, which I see that as a CIA, MK-Ultra, or Mossad operation. Not hard to reach that, considering that conclusion, considering that Norway was going to support a Palestinian state, and since they weren't going to back down from doing that, imagine this: they get attacked with a bomb and a shooter. And I read today in the Yahoo News that the bomb and the shooter one and the same person. I'd like to know how the guy got a hold of the explosives and got into the Capitol buildings of Norway and government buildings and put those bombs in there and blew that place up. I'd like to know why he cracked and killed 85 people at a camp, which he couldn't have possibly have known. You know, all these places. He was a right-wing person who had a web blog, who was all right-wing. Never had this trouble before, and just suddenly snaps out of nothing. To me, that smacks all of a mind control program. Why he snapped like that, nobody knows. Nobody's saying. Police are baffled. That's why it's just so obvious what happened. Too coincidental. Too many coincidences to be anything other than what it is. I think they should have not have supported Palestine, I guess, because, you know, you don't want Israel upset. They'll send Mossad after you if you don't go along with everything they say. Most of the time, if they're just normal agents out there, provocateurs, they would just send them out and call you anti-Semitic if you say anything that goes against anything they say. That's the way they do things. That's how they roll. And I believe that they have tried to keep control of the United States as long as they can, and of Norway especially, and they thought they were losing control, so they sent a sleeper agent and awakened them. Or they did it lately, kind of like the shooter in Arizona, which that kind of smacks that he was involved in the CIA MK-Ultra program too. There's too many, you know, hearsays from them, from the news media, and no facts. We're kind of getting the same thing now. And I think that this may be the same type of story. I really don't believe that this guy would have snapped like that. I think that's all I have to say for today on this. I think I'm done on this subject. I'll just post this and let you see what you think. Until next time, this is Spellbinder's Report. Be good at it, and have a very good day.
And now, here is a clip from a Alex Jones show last year, February 18th, 2010, with David Icke explaining what he says about mind control and psyops. And here it is.
Into our office numbers, we're getting people that knew him, neighbors are calling us. We're going to be perfectly positioned here in the middle of all this to really be able to report on it for you here in the next few hours and coming days. And get ready for the media to come after us. David, now that they're confirming that this is his letter, you were saying classic psyop during the break.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been investigating for a long time, 15 years now, the mind control programs and the mind control operations in North America and in the United Kingdom and Europe, and understanding the extent to which you can literally take over someone's mind in the same way that I could sit here and tap some keys and program this computer in front of me to do what I'm asking it to do. People are lacking an understanding often about what's actually happening because they don't realize what's actually possible. They think that what they see in their everyday lives or what they see in the public arena is the limit of what is possible. But when you get into the secret projects, whether it's technology or whether it's mind control or genetics, you're dealing with something that is light years beyond anything.
I was about to say, they had remote control cockroaches 30 years ago. They had robo-rats 20 years ago. Now they tell the public about it. They have, with one microchip, they can take a monkey, a rat, a human, and remote control, make you go to the bathroom, make you talk, and what I've been told by top experts is they've gone away from the trauma-based programming.
Yes, they have. Yes.
To chemicals and electronics. Go ahead.
Yes, they have. And the thing is that, I've been writing in my books that when I talk about the nature of reality, I describe the body as a body computer. When you look around the brain, they say, when this part of the brain lights up, this is how you react. This is what the body does. This is what you think. This is what your emotions are. And so this is what the whole mass microchipping program is all about. It's about internally accessing the body computer and then externally manipulating the way it works emotionally, mentally, and physically. And so once they can not even microchip someone, that's the easiest way, but you can actually do it without microchips. You can actually do it by very, very deep levels of what people call hypnosis. But what I'm talking about is beyond any hypnosis you ever see in the public arena. And basically, what they do is they put in a program. It could be a program. I'm not saying this is what's happening.
Stay there. Hold on. Got a break, okay, David.
Okay,
Back in 70 seconds. He posted this on his official website. It's confirmed. Control. We did find the mainstream news article I'm going to cover in the next segment about the robotic controlled rats. These are physical rats, physical mammals that are remote controlled. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying before the break, I'm not saying this is what happened to Mr. Stack because, it's a breaking story and we need to follow this up and get more information. But I'm telling you what is possible, and it's child's play by the level of mind control techniques that they're operating with. It is possible to have put into this man or anyone else a program which would lead to them behaving in this way. They can put the program in great detail, fine detail, and then they close that part of the mind, they close that part of the brain, if you like. It's called compartmentalization, or they call these compartmentalized areas of the mind-brain alters. And then they program in. It could be a sentence, it could be a word, it could even be it could be a color or a sound, anything. And when that word or trigger is given, then that man suddenly starts to play out the programmed behavior that was in there waiting to be activated. Now, I've come across so many different examples of this. I'll give you a quick one. There was a period in Britain when certain kinds of scientists, it's still going on now in many areas, but in Britain, at a particular time, when scientists were doing very strange things and killing themselves. One guy was sitting in his home in London, I think it was, and he was eating his meal, and then he puts his knife and fork down, walks out, gets in his car, drives to Bristol, which is a good way. He had no connections to Bristol whatsoever, parks his car on the Clifton Suspension Bridge, which is a massively high suspension bridge going over the river river in Bristol and jumps off. Another guy, he goes missing over a weekend. He says he's going out to get some petrol, some gas, and he's away for hours. His wife gets worried, calls the police eventually. Policeman's there, constable's there when the guy comes back, and he said, "Oh no, I just needed time by myself." On the Monday morning, he's got in his car. He's driven to work. Suddenly, on the way to work, he's driven off the what you would call the freeway, across the bridge to the other side, gone down the other side of the freeway, and then directed his car straight into a restaurant, smashed himself to pieces. And this is what can happen once the program's been put in there, and then the trigger to activate the program is given.
Stay there. Let's continue.
And there you have it from David Icke. That was about the guy in Texas that ran his aircraft into the tax IRS building. And that happened back February 18th of last year. That's what that was all about. But it runs along the same lines as what you see here. Gunman's background puzzles police in Norway. The man had no criminal record. He had no trouble with the law, but yet suddenly out of nowhere jumps up and decides to blow up a building and then go kill 85 people at a camp. It says 32-year-old suspect of gunning down scores of young people at a summer camp and setting off a bomb in downtown Oslo that killed at least 7 is a mystery to investigators. A right-winger and anti-Muslim, that's the only thing he has in common with maybe the reason why he did this, because they were supporting Palestinians, except you know that there's Christian Palestinians also that are being abused there. Views, but no known links to hardcore extremists. He just came out of nowhere, a police officer told the Associated Press. 7 people were killed in the bombing at the Prime Minister's office, and at least 85 were slain in the shooting spree on the island, police said Saturday. The warned the death toll could rise further as many people remain missing. Public broadcaster for the NKR and several other Norwegian media identified the suspect attacker as Andres Berhin Breivik, a blonde, blue-eyed Norwegian who expressed right-wing and anti-Muslim views on the internet. Police have the suspect in custody, but have not confirmed his identity. Apparently, his self-destruct part of his programming didn't go off. Let's see. Norwegian news agency NTB said Breivik illegally owned several firearms and belonged to a gun club. He ran an agricultural firm growing vegetables, an enterprise that could have helped him secure large amounts of fertilizer, a potential ingredient, and bombs. Again, McVeigh activity in Oklahoma City happening here. But he didn't belong to any known factions in Norway. Small and splintered extreme right movement, and had no criminal record except for some minor offenses, the police official told AP. And he says, he hasn't been on our radar, which he would have been if he was active in the neo-Nazi groups in Norway, he said. But he still could be inspired by their ideology. He spoke on conditions of anonymity because of those details had not been officially released by police. He declined to name the suspect. And then it goes on and talks. He's registered address at 4-story apartment building in West Oslo. A police car was parked outside the brick building early Saturday with officers protecting the entrance. And this is what's really weird about this. The guy had no background. It was almost as if he was a sleeper and he suddenly awoken by a word or a code and went on this. And it seems to happen right after the Palestinian approval of Norway to say, hey, we're going to support the Palestinian state. This is what's very bizarre about this. I'm going to leave it here for now. I'm going to go ahead and post this. And you make your own decision. I'm kind of suspecting that something more is going on here, and just a guy who was influenced by neo-Nazis and his hatred of Muslims or something. Why would he attack his own people? I mean, they were just going, I mean, that sounds like he was working for Israel, because Israel hates the Palestinians. They abuse and try to kill them constantly. Until next time, good day.